is Dean Rogers, Dean on the scene, part of 96.7 FM, WERA Radio Arlington, the Rogers Revue, and the RogersRevue.com. We have a new film coming up that is Landline, coming out in July. And I'm here with three wonderful ladies. We have on my left Abby Quinn, who plays Allie Jacobs. And we have someone who's very familiar to me because I interviewed her for her last film, Obvious Challenge, Gillian Rose Pierre. And we have the producer, Elizabeth Holm, who the last two, they not only co-wrote the movie, but co-wrote the screenplay. Ladies, it's wonderful to have you here on TRR Interview. How you guys doing today?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Excellent, yeah, and it's great to be back here, back in the DC area. So first I want to start the question with you, Gillian and Elizabeth. This is the second film you both have collaborating with each other. So I'd like to know, how did that collaboration start in the very first place?
We met at a film mixer in Brooklyn. We both were at the mixer with different projects. Liz was finishing up her first movie called Welcome to Pine Hill, which is a wonderful movie that Liz produced. Nice. And I was there with a very early draft of Obvious Child, and I was on the hunt for a producer and a partner to try to make this movie, which seemed impossible to make. Nobody wanted to work with it. Well, we had a couple of producers who bailed. It was too difficult, they found it to be. And we met at this mixer, and we shared a lot of wine and some sliders and other appetizers, and just connected and hit it off, and had a friend date the next night. And I gave Liz the script, and she's like, "This is really good. It needs work." And so, I think, we hit the ground running, I think the very next week, and worked for about a year on the script, developing the script, and shot it in the winter of, the spring, I think. 2013? Yeah, a couple of years after we met, because we both had day jobs at the time, so we were juggling 9-to-5 jobs, writing on nights and weekends, trying to have some sliver of a life. And then the second time around, it was, no-brainer to bring this collaboration and Jenny on screen, back to the screen again. And so we did it.
Wonderful. Elizabeth, the next question is to you. Why is the film set in the 90s, especially 1995? I remember when I was in 95, I was just a middle schooler getting ready to go to high school. So why 1995?
You're a young man.
Yes, I am.
Gillian and I are both born and raised New Yorkers. We came of age in the 90s. As teenagers, our parents both got divorced when we were teenagers in the 90s. It's a pretty personal story for both of us. It started from our kind of personal experiences and grew from there. And the 90s were a time, sort of the last days before cell phones and text messages and email taking over. And this is but the last days before the robots. And this is a movie about a family, communicating, not communicating, a lot of secrets and lies and things left unsaid, and people. We wanted to create a story where people actually had to talk to each other, had to have real conversations and connect. And so going slightly back in time afforded us the opportunity to create a world where people had to connect in that way. So we got to do that. We got to do curly hair, baggy jeans, beepers, music. So it was really fun to dive into that world and into that sort of transitional moment in New York, and a city that you can see on certain street corners at certain times of days now, but was kind of the last days of that New York, and we wanted to explore that as well.
Well, that's pretty excellent. Well, Abby, this is your third motion picture, full-length motion picture. I'd like to know what interests you in the role of Abby Jacobs.
Okay. Well, me. What first interested me, I think, was the story. I read the script, trying not to focus on my character too much, but just, how the story worked together as a whole. My parents divorced when I was very young, so right off the bat, I felt like I had some sort of connection to it. I also have 3 siblings, So the relationship between Allie and Dana totally worked for me, and I felt like I was, I didn't feel like it was going to be very difficult for me to empathize with the situation and with these characters. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. A follow-up question is, what is it like to work with Jenny Slate? Does she play like the big, confident sister with you, or did she play the bratty sister with you, since you both play sisters in the film?
In real life.
In real life and on film.
Oh, I think in real life she's definitely not bratty. And I didn't. Aside, yeah.
She was very nice when we talked to her about 2.5 years ago. Wow.
That actors change.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. I'm already changing. So it's happening now. Yeah, I don't know. I think there was a sister relationship. She is older than me, so just like meeting her before filming, I did feel like that. I also have 2 older stepsisters who are kind of, I don't know, they feel older than me. And I think when we first met, it was almost like how I felt with Jenny, just like a woman to look up to, aside from my mom, who's a little bit closer in age to me and can relate to me probably more than my mom. Yeah.
That's good. And I thought that was the time I said, that's way too early.
Yeah.
All right, we're going back to Gillian. How much of the dialogue was drawn from your personal experiences compared to what was created for the movie itself?
Oh, well, actual dialogue, I don't have the greatest memory, so the dialogue is all dialogue that Liz and I wrote that isn't verbatim of dialogue that, occurred in our real lives. I wish I had the memory of a human tape recorder. But a lot of it, I feel like, is a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of wishful thinking of conversations that we had a chance to perfect on screen. Maybe they didn't go as smoothly in real life, but on screen we were able to sort of have a cathartic moment that didn't occur in our real lives. But we started with us, and then it turned into a story, and it took a whole new life once we started writing these characters out. Liz and I don't have older sisters or younger sisters. We have older brothers. Wow. And we sort of realized that the relationship was a combination of that, a combination of the relationship we have with each other, and a made-up relationship of 2 sisters that we just wanted to sort of bring into the world.
Wonderful. Well, I'd like to put Miss Abby on the spot just a bit. And I'd like to ask the 2 of you, how did you know that Abby was the right person to play off Jenny?
Her audition was amazing. And we worked with a casting director in New York who brought us a lot of wonderful actors. We saw a lot of tapes, but Abby's blew us away because she was able to possess this sort of, adultness in the body of a teenager. And she had the ability to be composed but also silly at the same time. That's good. And we also did a little internet search, which we couldn't have done in 1995, but we were able to do when we were casting in 2016, and found this incredible footage of Abby. I don't know if it's still up. It's still up. At a talent show at college, doing Toxic, Britney Spears' Toxic, acoustic though, and it's beautiful. Is that right? And it was high school.
Yeah, wow. I'm about to say, when you said the internet search, I thought you were going to find some gossip or some dirt about her. So I was like, oh boy.
Well, yeah, everyone has to be careful about that too, because
except Ed, there's 0 gossip on that.
That's good. Yeah. Well, Abby, back to you. You saw the film for the very first time at the Sundance Film Festival, is that correct?
Yes.
And I'd like to know, what was it like to be at Sundance for the very first time, and how does it feel to see yourself on film at such a powerful and wonderful and well-known film festival such as Sundance?
Yeah.
I'll hold it.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. It was very exciting for me. My whole family was there. And yeah, I have been in other films, but this is by far the biggest part that I've ever had, and the first time that a film I've been in has been in Sundance, and it's something that I've always wanted to go to and wanted to be a part of. So for my first time going to actually have a film there, I felt very lucky. And I loved the people that I worked with too, so it was kind of like a reunion, which made it even more fun. And seeing it for the first time was a weird experience. I didn't feel, I was kind of watching it in fragments. I don't think I can watch it as like a whole piece ever, probably, unless I'm like 70 and I forget that I'm in it. I don't know. I don't know. It was a really, really amazing experience.
Awesome.
It's like a beautiful rainbow on your face right now. You look very cool. Yeah, it's like a reflection of the light.
Well, that's very nice. Well, I have to admit, the opening scene of your film was one of the interesting expectations that took me out of, like, I can't believe this happens. So did you plan that opening scene from the usual movie tropes? Like, they enjoy it, but it's like, they don't enjoy it. It's like, what?
Yes, that scene was written. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we knew very early on we wanted to have a scene of a couple having not great sex in the woods. You know, a lot of the movie is about female experience of love and sex and the complexity of monogamy and long-term relationships. And we wanted to show a lot of women having sex and different kinds of sex over the course of the film. And in that particular scene, it's supposed to be funny, and hopefully it made you laugh. But good. But it is about that moment in a relationship when, you know, it's not spontaneous and it's not necessarily just like hot on command. And how do you, with someone you're so intimate with, and have this long relationship and rich history and patterns with, how do you try and create something romantic? And as Gil likes to say, just want to get it over with and get back in the car. So, you know, it felt like a scene that was kind of an appropriate way to open this film about long-term love, and, you know, intimacy in relationships, and to do it in a way that hopefully makes you laugh or super uncomfortable or both.
And Jenny also often says that she wanted the character, no matter what, to figure out how to be in a monogamous relationship but be herself and free within it. Yes. And the opening scene, she's not able to be herself. She's just in her head but wants to get it over with. And I think by the end of the movie, she's figured out how to be with this person for the time being. Who knows if it works out, but also be herself.
Awesome. Well, I want to direct the next question to the both of you. And I'd like to know, how has your collaboration between you and Jenny and yourself, Gillian, has changed from Obvious Child to Landline? How has it changed?
Should we bonk our heads while we should we kiss?
Let's say each word at exactly the same time.
It's grown. It's you know, only in the best way growth works. It was from the short film we did in 2009, Obvious Child short. We were new friends and getting to know each other, and it was my first time directing a movie or a short film outside of film school, and it was Jenny's first movie, even though it was a short. And we were all fresh and new and didn't really know what was going on. And then for Obvious Child, the feature, we'd grown a little bit. Jenny had moved to LA, and we had some time apart, and it was an amazing experience. It changed all of our lives. And then with Landline, we had a little more to play with. You know, we had more money, we had more actors, we had a crew that went from 30 to doubled, and it was just a whole new experience. But we'll always have the shorthand that we created in 2009, and it's just getting better, and we're honing in on our skills individually off on our own projects, and then we get to come back together and be a family. It's really nice.
Wonderful. How about you, Elizabeth? What's your point of view?
We've got to wrap it up. My point of view is
No, there's a whirlpool.
there's a whirlpool outside. Cool. I think Gillian said it, beautifully. I think, we are friends and sisters to each other and really happy to have Abby in the family now. And I think that like friends and siblings, we are there to support each other and trust each other and to challenge each other. And I think that one of the greatest gifts of working with these women is that we've all found ways to challenge each other and help each other grow and make each other laugh. And none of that has changed. It's evolving, but it was there from the start. And I feel really lucky to be part of that.
Awesome.
#blessed.
Oh,
Yes, indeed. One quick question. What do you miss about the 90s? If you can pick one thing. Elizabeth?
What do I miss about the
One
90s?
Yes, one thing.
I have to go first.
Yes.
Having every room in my house be covered in wall-to-wall carpeting. I guess I could do that again. I miss snack plates and wall-to-wall carpeting and yelling at my mom. I can still do those things.
Awesome. Gillian?
I miss either Tower Records or 120 Minutes on MTV.
Oh, yes. I'm definitely miss Susan. And Abby?
I miss breastfeeding.
Well, thank you, Abby Quinn. Thank you, Gillian Robespierre. And thank you, Elizabeth Holm. Landline comes out in theaters July 28th.
21st.
21st. Thank you very much.
No,
For the
And the 28th and August 4th, and it'll be out there.
Well, it's coming out soon, next month. For the Rogers Revue interview, I'm Dean Rogers. Don't forget to check us out at therogersrevue.com and at 96.7 FM, WERA, Radio Arlington. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.